Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dan Glickman. I'm from City College, Los Angeles, LACC. I'm here with the group. I'm a full-time faculty member in kinesiology and dance, and I swear to, no, that's not mine. Steal it from
No swearing.
I was asked to speak here, and when I first got found out, I felt a bit like Kate Winslet in Titanic. And the reason being was because at the beginning of the movie, she's not the young Kate Winslet, she's this elderly lady, and I am the elderly lady in a way, and that I was the first Project Shepherd way back in 2002, right after the Bond Prop A was passed, and they asked me, what was going on back in those days, because we don't remember anymore. And I went, oh, okay, well here I am. It's been so long that now I have to wear these. I've grown up with this thing, okay? And it's like raising a child for 13 years, the Prop A, because it hasn't actually been born yet. What happened was back in the day, we had a very old campus, as you know, pre-World War II and Cold War, and nuclear bomb shelters. They officially are. It's really cool sometimes if you go look around the campus. But it's not cool for our buildings in kinesiology to be that old. So we originally got together with architects, and after a few years of basically fighting with each other, because we thought we had lots of money, we put together the antiquated version of a college campus, which was to have a men's gym and a women's gym, put them together, and they were both 2 stories. We were going to have a swimming pool on the ground floor, and then everything else was up above it. Well, in 2005, 3 years later, we found out we didn't have the money, and you know the story. So we did end up getting a small version of one building that was 2 stories high that would house what was in the men's gym that came over, but the women's gym is still languishing. I work in there. I'm one of the rare hybrids. I teach dance and kinesiology. The rooms in there are in the 50-degree temperatures during the winter and in the 90s during the summer. So we get little air conditioners in the wall, but they don't really work except for 12 feet. What's concerning me is that now that we had to kind of start over again with a different idea and renovate the women's gym as opposed to kind of rebuild things, we're going to the bottom of the list. We've been languishing there. The dance program is basically dying. We have been relegated to using makeshift facilities, some judo mats in the corner of an old gym, and basically our old fitness center was abandoned, and we're waiting for it to be retrofitted so it can be a weight room. So it's been very difficult to find ourselves get pushed to the bottom of the list. Is that 2 minutes or a warning?
That's your minute. That's your 3 minutes. Thank you.
All right, thank you, folks.
Next is Hayward. Is it Nishioka? No? Yes. I apologize if I'm pronouncing it wrong. Followed by Nancy Cairns.
I'm going to make mine kind of short. I really originally wasn't scheduled to come up here, but now I find that I'm up here. I want to just tell you a little bit about physical education. A lot of times what happens is we get put to the bottom of the pool because everybody says, well, what are they doing here? What purpose do they serve? And I want you to kind of think about this as you go about your daily lives. The people that come to our school come from different cultures, in different places, different languages, and yet what class is there that they can get into and be a viable student? They get into physical education because it's a language all of itself. They learn how to do teamwork, they learn how to cooperate with one another, they learn that there are certain rules because it's within the infrastructure of all sports that there's rules that govern the sport, and there are penalties to pay if you don't go along with the rules. Isn't this sort of a microcosm of our society? And I hope that you understand that we in physical education do that. We also change. And what is education but change? It means that they change in their demeanor, they change in their structure, and we provide that, and I hope that you will remember that when things go wrong, when there's less money to take care of our needs. And don't forget those students that start out at our college. So please help us out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nancy, I think it's Carnes, followed by Peter Arcelli.
At least you said it right, that's great. Don't start my time yet.
Move the mic down too.
You can just give them to the general counsel and she'll get it.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Nancy Cairns, and I want to thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure. You know, the last time that I was here was when I was first hired at City College. So it's remarkable that I'm still coming back and saying the same thing over and over again, and this has been 10 years now. I am probably one of your more passionate instructors. I'm actually here for my students, and I think it's important for you to understand that it would be a lot easier for me if I didn't care. Because I could easily show up, collect a paycheck, and go home. But unfortunately, I come from a long line of educators who actually care about student success, that care about where this college goes, that cares. And I wish I didn't, because it would make my job and my life a lot easier. You guys have changed the game plan a little bit. I had some questions for you about your personal health, but I can't ask them. So I'm going to make a statement to you that our field is changing. I'm actually pre-med, and most of our programs that were scheduled into the South Gym project are pre-med programs. Cardio, rehabilitation, physical therapy, where do you go when you're stressed? A personal trainer, a yoga class. These are just some of the areas that we specialize in. We are physiologically changing bodies, not just by activity, but also through the education that we are supplying them. So I went out to the community and I listened to the chancellor and to the administration at LA City College. And I represented our district and I promised them programs that we should have at LA City College that cannot take place unless we have our South Gym finished. Now, you may think that South Gym is just a gymnasium, but it's not. It's got classrooms, which service other parts of the campus. It has dance classrooms. It has a yoga facility. It has half of our locker rooms that weren't programmed into the North Gym structure. It has storage facilities, and it was half of our program. I developed for the last 4 years certificates and transfer degrees that I can never see happen unless that facility is built. And I feel passionate about that. I spent 4 years of my life away from my family, traveling around California to develop these programs for my students at LA City College. And I feel disrespected and upset that no one is talking about this. You probably don't know most of what's going on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Peter Parcelletti. I'm an adjunct instructor at LA City College in the Department of Kinesiology. I started in the fall of this past year. Excited to be there. It's quite a lot of fun. I teach kinesiology. My full-time job, I work 40 plus hours a week at Amgen Thousand Oaks. I run their fitness facility. I'm the Director of Personal Training Assistant General Manager. It's a 20,000 square foot facility. We have about 6,000 active members, maybe about 2,500 or so come into the gym. We run all sorts of programs, wellness initiatives. My primary responsibility is working with personal trainers, all of whom are kinesiologists. The gym that currently exists at LA City is substandard. It does not provide the proper resources for students to learn how to move well and be well. I cannot express that more explicitly. I want to reference the Paffenberg, California longshoreman study that was done. It was a longitudinal study that had over 6,000 plus participants. They found that those that perform manual labor, literally carrying boxes of fish, versus mechanized laborers, workers who use cranes to transport boxes or remain seated, the individuals that use the mechanized methods had a increased incidence of morbidity. The results of that study found, the researchers determined that repeated bursts of high energy activity was protective of coronary heart disease. I want to repeat, repeated bursts was protective of coronary heart disease. What is repeated bursts? Lift heavy stuff, move it, and put it back down. Gee, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? You often hire a personal trainer to teach you to lift heavy stuff and put it down. Our programs will provide that resource for the community and give our community members an opportunity to be hired by me in the field. Without these programs, I will not hire them in my profession. When people come to me with only a personal training certification, they don't get hired without practical experience. I'm adamant about it. I'm very, very passionate about it. And it requires a tremendous amount of education to get someone on board to learn the proper way to coach another human being into changing lifestyle behavior. I appreciate your time. I look forward to the results. Thank you very much.
Thank you. David Rico, followed by Jan McEvery.
Good afternoon, members of the board. My name is David Rico. I'm an Iraq Afghan war veteran. I'm using my GI Bill to go to school at LA City College. I'm currently part of the student government, and I'm the Senator of Safety, Health, and Homes. And I represent the body, student body at LACC, and I feel that the money that's being taken out of the women's gym be allocated to the admin building for IT and the Sheriff's Department. I feel more strongly because I know that the money was originally approved to go into the women's gym, and I feel like, and currently our school does not have any collegiate sports. We don't have a cafeteria, and I think we're the only ones in the district like that. I think it's a step forward if we reallocate this money and keep it for the women's gym and keep alive the kinesiology department for health, yoga, dance. And hopefully it's a step forward to bring collegiate sports, and maybe we can start having more higher enrollments for students that want to major in a lot of these kinesiology majors and these collegiate sports. I believe there's 2,400 students that stand to benefit from all this. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Just give it to our general counsel.
Just some background information.
Thank you.
I'm Joan McAfee, and I'm a project shepherd, followed by Dan Glickman. And I spoke to you on December 4th, if you remember. And I'm a Bruin. But I have to go in and do basketball game tomorrow, of course. But anyway, I came to you last time to ask, and I gave you a handout to ask that our building go out for bid. And unfortunately, you thought I was asking for $12 million. I was not, because we already supposedly have $12 million for our project. That money was approved, it's gone through DSA, and it had your approval. You saw the fly-through. You approved our project, okay? And it's been sitting and waiting to go out for construction. There have been lots of delays, moratorium, and then in August we were supposed to be combined with Da Vinci, another project on campus, and go out for bid together as a strategy to get the construction bid down. And we were waiting for Da Vinci to come out of DSA, wait. And then all of a sudden, after the meeting I had with you, and I asked you for us to go out to bid, in February, ACOM on steering wanted to made a presentation. There's three projects remaining, Cesar Chavez, us, and Da Vinci, and they wanted to delay our project and put our money towards Cesar Chavez, which is the administration building. And the numbers that they put on the board were flawed, they weren't real. And I looked at the budget figures, and I gave you some budget there. The Cesar Chavez building has gone from 8 million to 22 million, it's now at 34 million. They're still in the schematic stage, which means they're still designing. It hasn't even gone out to DSA. Our building cannot wait to be completed. We have faculty and students basically suffering. And Gary Colombo made a very interesting comment, Academic Senate, because it's gone to Academic Senate and the union. All the faculty are with us in kinesiology. Put our project forward and let Cesar Chavez finish what they need to do, and they get additional funding through the bond. But the district oversight committee, I went there, and this guy said, there's going to be not another bond, so good luck with that. So we want our project finished. It needs to be finished now. And the college council overturned the bond steering committee's decision to allow our project to go forward. And Gary Colombo, like I said at the meeting, how can a 1-hour meeting overturn everything that's been done for the past 8 years? All that planning, and it's going to be a waste of $2 million if we don't go through with our project. It's ridiculous. And John Chung, as I said in his audit, $28 million our district has wasted in unfinished, canceled DSA projects, and ours would be another one on the list because there's probably no hope of getting another bond or project match to get our project done. Our project is small, and I don't know why Cesar Chavez is $34 million now. Went from 8 to 22, and now it's at 34.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our last speaker on this topic is John Freitas.
Good afternoon. It's the 4:20 showing of my public comment from earlier. Good afternoon, President Sponkin, Chancellor Rodriguez, and the entire Board of Trustees. I'm John Freitas, President of the Los Angeles City College Academic Senate. Our college was informed in late January that cost escalations for the remaining in-progress and planned bond construction projects had resulted in our remaining bond budget being insufficient to complete all of our remaining construction projects with a projected shortfall of $14 million. In particular, the college had to consider which of the two following modernization projects, Da Vinci Hall, South Gym, and Cesar Chavez would move forward. As we were told, it would be impossible to complete all three within the existing total bond budget. We were further informed that we had to make a decision quickly, although frankly, it's not clear to me why we need to move so quickly to make a decision by the beginning of March. Through our governance process, it was decided that Da Vinci Hall and Cesar Chavez project would move forward in the South Gym and deferred. What has dismayed my colleagues is the speed with which the decision was made through our governance process, particularly the decision in College Council to reverse the initial recommendation by the Facilities Planning Committee to move forward with the South Gym and defer Cesar Chavez. In response, our Senate adopted a resolution that urged President Martinez to reconsider that decision so that more information could be reviewed in a more thorough and deliberative manner. That said, I am not bringing that resolution to the board because that is a local matter and it's inappropriate for me to bring that local matter to the board at this time. My intent is simply to convey the concerns of the LACC faculty that we are making hurried decisions that have a huge impact on our instructional programs. Still, the fact that we follow the mechanics of our governance process does not change that concern of our faculty. The kinesiology department is poised to do great things for our students and the communities that we serve. The department is in the process of creating structures of achievement for our students to be personal trainers and yoga trainers. They're in the process of making technical fixes to its board-approved associate degree for transfer in kinesiology. They're waiting for Chancellor's office approval. And is planning to pursue possibly an associate degree in transfer in public health. In order to offer the courses for the certificate programs, they do need the facilities that the modernized South Gym will provide. And while not completely unanimous in the Senate, the faculty have clearly expressed its will that through the Academic Senate that they support the prioritization of the South Gym project over the Cesar Chavez project. The difficulty in all of this is that the Cesar Chavez building modernization is also an important project, but we have concerns that given the tightness of budgets that, despite the kind of delivery method that we're using, it still may come in over budget and may not be completed. The LACC and all the colleges need relief. Since the end of the bond moratorium in 2012, the district has held bond program funds in reserve to address potential litigation. Each college was required to contribute a share of its bond allocation to this reserve, and LACC's contribution was somewhere in the $15 to $20 million range, as I recall, enough to complete the projects that returned to us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. The next item, next speaker is,
At some point, could.
let's get through, then
All
you can
the
ask the
speakers?
speakers, and then you can ask the chancellor or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
If you
wonder
don't
if
want
the
it.
president.
Yeah. Gracia Arachiga is the next speaker signed up. No? Okay. All right.
Generosity. Good afternoon, and I appreciate the chance to address you. Congratulations to people who were just elected, by the way, and Chancellor, nice to see you. I speak today with some urgency. You have obviously a very packed agenda, but I want to bring a few minutes to this because I heard a lot of it about it recently, and that is the concern of the future of the Farm Center at Pierce College. For those of you who know, the Farm Center has been an important part of the Pierce family constellation for a long time. It's generated income for the college. It was part of the foundation. It helps to educate students.
Time people have come, and I will restate that I do not believe the board should involve itself in a campus level decision of this type, but I would ask, since we've received a number of documents, some of which indicate some deep concern about the governance and the way it's, could the president of the college please, clarify for us from her perspective what has gone on there?
Why don't I, rather than speaking about those issues today, why don't I commit to a summary of the discussions to date and put that in writing to the board.
Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Bowman?
Apropos of what was just requested and the speakers, I have equal concerns regarding not having them. I'd like answers to a couple of the questions that were addressed in terms of why the switch after so many years that this project was going to be done, and why the cost for the administration, why the switch when the gym was decided years ago. I don't get it, and I'd like to know what's going on and what's happening, why, and whether or not changes can be made.
I just have a comment on behalf of the students. Chancellor, I have full confidence that you will do a complete thorough summary, but if I'm understanding correctly, they're taking funds that were supposed to go towards the gym, and they're going to apply that towards the administration building, IT or something, and additional space to share. That just doesn't sound right if I'm understanding it.
We'll look at different.
Thank you.
Thank you. Also, Chancellor, I think the board has requested, and because of a legal settlement, the Pierce Farm issue is one that we have to be careful about what we discuss in public.